And we focus now on Coal of Africa, which released its interim financial report this morning, reporting a loss of $800,000. Joining me now at the desk is the Chief Executive Officer, David Brown. Good to have you as always, sir. So quite clear, certainly it hasn't been an easy territory or time for you to ride the wave and the challenges that you've been faced with, but are things beginning to look up now?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me today. Quite clearly the 800,000 loss is still a loss, but when you compare that to the loss for the 6 months to December 2013, when the loss was about $25 million, it's quite a considerable improvement. One also had to look at that against the backdrop of the current coal pricing environment. Coal prices dropped about 21% for thermal coal last year and about 8% down for metallurgical coal. So it's still a very tough space to be in, but absolutely we're on the right track now.
7 cents versus 4 rand 42 cents per share was the loss, and you said you've managed to sort of stabilise the ship, but a loss is a loss. How have you done that though? 21% down in the coal price. The resources world very, very beleaguered and down in the dumps at the moment. What have you done? Is it top line, bottom line? What's happened?
Well, it's actually bottom line. The top line is we were operating at losses at a number of collieries. We've obviously had to close those and put them on care and maintenance. We've obviously had to slash head office and overhead expenditure as well. We also earmarked a number of assets for sale which we deem non-core going forward, and obviously utilised the cash from those sales to obviously fund working capital processes going forward. But I think more importantly also in terms of redefining the company as a project development company, and effectively we have Vele, which is obviously a near-term brownfields potential, and then obviously Mikado, which is the jewel in the crown for the company, partially because of it has access to hard coking coal, which is a scarcer resource than the thermal product.
Give us more details on Mikado, because as you've mentioned, there's a lot of value that can be unlocked there.
We were very excited today to announce that we've concluded our Black Economic Empowerment transaction. We have signed subscription and sale agreements for the 26% in the Mikado project. That's obviously provides us now with impetus in terms of the licensing applications. As you know, for the new order mining right, that's one of the requirements we need. We believe that the next couple of months the DMR hopefully will opine favourably for us, and then we'll be able to move forward on that. The project itself is effectively a blend between hard coking coal, which is a product used in the steel making process, as well as thermal byproduct credits. And effectively we'll be producing about 5.5 million tonnes of coal per annum once it's up in production. It's got a 16-year life of mine, and based on long-term pricing, the net present value at an 8% real discount rate is just a shade under $700 million US dollars. So quite a significant value creator.
So Mikado is absolutely essential to Coal of Africa's future, David. You've talked about the better performance now, and that's all bottom line. You've got to get the top line going, and Mikado is the one. So it's not all your eggs in one basket, but it's certainly very, very close to that.
We actually have a very large resource base, but it's certainly the one that's probably the most developed. As I said, we do have Vele, which is a brownfields operation. That is a producer of semi-soft coking coal as well as thermal product. That one we are looking at potentially doing a plant modification there, being able to bring that on stream probably within 8 or 9 months, and obviously that's quite a much shortened time frame relative to the Mikado project. So we have options to bring other operations on sooner, but quite clearly the capital required for Mikado at just over $400 million US dollars is a considerable amount for a company of our size to raise. And obviously the sale and the conclusion of the structure of the Black Economic Empowerment structure today is obviously a very good first step. And we'll obviously be working with those acquirers of the stake to raise the requisite funding. We are talking to a number of other players with regard to maybe taking a strategic stake in Mikado, as well as effectively looking at some debt funding. We obviously appreciate that would take a period of time. We're earmarking probably a 12 to 18 month time frame. So for us, it is a lot of eggs in one basket, but effectively what we have done with the recent equity raise, and obviously looking at the continued sales process around Mooiplaats, we obviously put those two together. That provides us with the working capital for the next 18 months, where we get on with finding the financing for Mikado.
3 years ago, your share price was around 7-8 rand a share. Today, it's at 27 cents. A lot of value has been eradicated over those years. But what's going to change now, and how is it, or rather, how difficult is it to instill some kind of shareholder confidence when your share price isn't showing it?
Yeah, look, it's been a very difficult period for shareholders, without a doubt. I think, though, the recent equity raise that we started back end of last year, and will complete the third stage of it by the end of April this year, certainly raising $65 million in today's commodity markets, particularly in the junior sector, is probably one of the biggest capital raises done. So therefore, I think what it does do is, it certainly, in my book anyway, says that the major shareholders are understanding of the commodity cycle, they're understanding of the cycle and the phase of the cycle that we're in now, and also certainly appreciate the underlying value that Mikado can bring to them as shareholders. So even though the share price performance has not been ideal and what we would have expected, we certainly believe that there's significant upside from where we are now.
Thank you so much for your time today. Good having you with us in studio. That was David Brown, who's the Chief Executive of Coal of Africa.